All right, it's 7 o'clock, and we will begin with the public hearing on our budget with Dr. Forrest and Neil.
Great, so we're going to be sharing our proposed budget tonight as well as our default calculation. So as we're doing the budget, we always keep our mission in the forefront of our minds because the budget we build should be supporting us to meet that mission. Another piece that's always important for us is we have a complex district with 9 towns and 11 school buildings, so that has some challenges as we build a budget and how to manage that. And then we've listed some of the assumptions that we go in or that we consider as we're building a budget. So we have our procedural assumptions, so things that are aligned to our mission and vision. We have financial assumptions which deal with fixed costs, so our contractual obligations. And then we have programmatic assumptions, so those things that to move our programming forward. So all of that comes together, and I'm going to turn it over to Neil, who's going to share all the number pieces.
So our proposed operating budget is $60,730,834. This is an increase of $857,386, or 1.43%. 1.43% is a number that I think is a very good number. This also includes the second year of the Kentucky Valley Education Association agreement. It includes $668,000 in capital improvements that are included in the budget because a goal was to move towards having some of those in the budget. And it also includes the new bus contract, which begins July 1. This shows how the budget is distributed. Probably the big takeaway from here is basically salaries and benefits are just over 75% of the entire budget. So sort of a breakdown of some of our appropriations. Staffing has an increase of $986,000. As I said, this is the second year of the contract. Next year is the second year of the budget that we're talking about. When the contract was presented to voters last year, the estimate of that increase would be $806,379. This salary line also includes an added technology integrator for the elementary schools to coordinate the technology that's being integrated in all the 8 elementary schools. Benefits is actually a decrease. Our overall healthcare costs went up only 3.4%. I say only, that's not a small number, but compared to other years, that is a small number. And really with that, and changes in plan, a higher deductible plan was offered this year, which actually saved about $100,000 there. So overall, there's a decrease there. Purchases services, this is really the prices that went up here are normal inflation, and there was a fairly substantial $75,000 decrease in legal service costs. Property is up $736,573. This is largely $660,000 of that is the added CIP costs that have been put in. We'll talk a little bit about the 3 projects that includes in a second. Other services decreased by $490,000. This reflects a drop in special education and general education tuition and special education transportation, and that has helped to offset the increase in the regular transportation costs, which are going up fairly significantly, largely due to higher pay for the drivers and hope of being able to recruit more drivers in the coming years. Supplies and materials decreased. There was a slight increase in general supplies, but that was more than offset by utilities, electricity, propane, heating oil. Property purchases decreased largely because we're buying fewer Chromebooks because our enrollment is down. Other increases were up slightly. This is the cost of dues and fees. And we have no debt. So overall, this is sort of a summary of what we just went through, which shows all of those totals. The default budget, so because we're an SB2 district, if the budget does not pass, we would go to a default budget unless the board decides to have a meeting to vote on another budget. The default budget is basically last year's budget with contractual obligations added, with legal requirements added, with one-time expenses from last year removed, as well as the cost of any salaries for positions that have been eliminated. This sort of shows where that is. Basically, this comes in about 1.25% below our proposed budget. And that puts it at $62,324,000. There's a difference. This includes, you'll see the non-operational is at the bottom. The non-operational is grants and food service and self-funding things. They're staying exactly the same, but they're included in the default budget, which is why you saw the 60,000 of the operating versus the 63 here. Capital improvements, so 3 projects were moved into the budget. The goal for budget and property is to have about 1.5% of the total budget for capital expenditures. So the Greenfield Elementary School and Hancock Elementary School boilers have been added to the budget, and the PES, Peterborough Elementary School roofing, and that adds $668,000 to the budget. There are 4 trust fund articles proposed for $975,000. These are funded through the surplus at the end of the year, the unreserved fund balance. We're anticipating having funds at the end of the year to cover these, so it's no additional taxation with these. The building capital reserve for $500, energy expendable for $25,000, the equipment expendable trust fund $25,000, and then the building for another $425. The reason the building is on here twice is because at the end of the year you take them in the order that they're voted. So if there weren't enough fund balance to cover all the way down, you go in the order that they're listed on the warrant. And this is the order that they're listed on the warrant currently. So the district assessment, so the total appropriations would be just over $64 million. Our operating revenues are estimated to be just over $3 million. This is an increase of 4.82%. Use of fund balance, we returned over $4 million this past year, so it's not anticipated or planned to have that much of a fund balance to return this year. So that amount that's able to be returned would drop. The adequacy aid we're expecting is down about $268,000. So it does increase the district assessment by $3.8 million, which is 9.08%. You're here tonight at the budget hearing, watching it wherever you are. The school board votes tonight basically on the warrant and the budget. The deliberative session is February 3rd, which is the first Tuesday in February at 6 o'clock at the high school. And then the final voting takes place on Tuesday, March 10th in each town. That is it.
Questions?
follow the regular procedure as far as public hearing. We'll keep it open for half an hour in case other people come in. And go on with the regular agenda. So we'll call the meeting to order, and if you would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, we're going to skip over points of pride.
Yeah, because we were unsure about the weather tonight and we had students coming, we postponed our points of pride to our next board meeting. But we have some good ones coming.
Okay, skipping down to approval of the manifest.
I certify that the manifest listed below totaling $3,621,256.84 have been reviewed by me and found to be proper charges against Kentucky Valley School District for goods and/or services received and have been properly processed prior to their submittal to the school board.
Move to approve the manifest?
Okay. Tonight we have two board members who are not present. Tom is on one phone and Jim is on the other. So we will have to go through roll call votes for all of our votes. So,
Sarah, yes.
Cat, yes. Curtis, yes.
Mike, yes.
Jim, yes.
Carl, yes.
Janine, yes.
Bill, yes.
Tom? Jim?
Jim, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, public comment. Would you like to make a comment either about the public hearing or otherwise? Okay, thank you. Reports. Selectmen's Advisory Committee. We had some good discussion. We talked about the budget, and they were very impressed with what had been brought forth as far as the budget is concerned. So that was very positive. We had a pretty lengthy conversation about open enrollment, going through most of the operational types of procedures, and there were a lot of questions as far as how that might work, and they did ask that we have another SAC meeting this month. We were going to wait and do it 2 months, but they would like to get updated on how the public hearing went on the budget and also on what our decision is.
Lost audio. I heard you, I got it. Thanks.
And also what our decision is as far as open enrollment. So, all right. The only other reports we have tonight are Marcus.
Hello. Liam is not able to be here today. He was going to go to a swimming meet, but that got canceled, sadly. He is taking tonight off, though. Another hand. We had a lot of sports over the break for Conval. We had 2 track meets, one at UNH and one at Plymouth State. We also had a girls' basketball game the day before vacation started, and pretty sure they won that. Sorry, I'm not sure. We also had a wrestling meet last Saturday. And then, in other news, Granite State Challenge is going to travel on the 10th to have their first game, which will be on television sometime in the following months. On Monday the 22nd, we had a alumni panel. On Thursday the 15th and Friday the 16th, the music department will have a field trip to Keene State College for the Monadnock Valley Music Festival. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Consent agenda.
So in the school board drive, there was an updated personnel notification that we didn't have when we initially sent out the agenda. So Tammy Bear, grade 1 teacher at PS, has put in her resignation.
Okay. Can I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second? Okay. Any questions about the consent agenda? Okay.
Sarah, yes.
Kat, yes.
Tom, yes.
Dan, yes. Curtis, yes.
Mike, yes.
Carl, yes.
Janine, yes.
Tom? Jim?
Jim, yes.
Superintendent's report.
Okay, calendar for January. This week, we have a communications committee meeting at 6 o'clock this Thursday at the SAU. And that's it for the rest of the week. Next week, Education Committee is meeting on Monday the 12th at 6 p.m. here at the SAU. And that's actually all we have scheduled for next week, unless anybody has anything. Oh,
I think we're checking on it, but I think we're going to have the SAC meeting on the 15th.
okay, so Selectmen's Advisory Committee on Thursday the 15th at 6 p.m. here at the SAU. The week of the 19th, the district is closed on the 19th, but on Tuesday the 20th, Budget and Property is meeting at 5:30 p.m. here at the SAU, followed by a 7 p.m. board meeting. And that Thursday the 22nd, Communications Committee is meeting at 6 p.m. at the SAU, followed by a Facilities Committee meeting at 7. Anything else for that week? And then for the last week in January, we have a Policy Committee meeting on Tuesday the 27th at 6 p.m. here at the SAU. Anything else for January? Okay. In February, on Tuesday the 30th, on Tuesday the 3rd of February, we have our district meeting, our deliberative session, which is at 6 p.m. In the high school gym. And then that Thursday is our snow date for that meeting.
Can I schedule a ComCom meeting on the 5th? Should there be no need for the snow date?
Fine with me.
Okay. Anybody else? The 5th? 6th?
5th.
5th.
Right now, we don't have anything scheduled for the second week in February.
I was going to suggest the 3rd week of February for the forum on that Wednesday. Do we have other
The
feelings?
Lucy Hurland Theater available? 11th. I think the 11th.
Is it the
Oh, sorry. Are you talking about the 11th or the 18th? It's the 8th.
the 18th? Or is that the 3rd week? Yeah, the 18th.
That's a pretty packed week.
Is it? Is the 20th?
Well, the week of the 18th, we've got Education Committee on Monday, the 16th at 6 p.m. That Tuesday, we've got Budget and Property at 5:30, followed by a school board meeting. And on the 19th, we've got Communications Committee and Facilities Committee.
When's the second part of the deliberative? When do we vote?
10th,
The 10th?
March 10th.
So the
yes.
25th then of February for the forum? Is that an easier week?
That's vacation week. Is the 11th out? Can we look at the 11th and the 18th? We can see if,
11th, 18th, or the 4th of March.
are you feeling the 11th is too early? Yes.
Yeah, given that that's a month away, a month in advance,
Oh, okay.
you know, we want the discussion to be fresh in people's minds to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
It's still 3 weeks. Does anybody have any other thoughts? It's fine. So Brenda, you were talking about moving meetings from the 19th to the second week in March. Okay. To clear out that, so the 18th. Okay.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I think so. Does anybody have any other thoughts? 8.
Is the theater available?
Okay. February.
All right. Well, and you said I mean, just in case if the theater wasn't available, March 4th is also a consideration? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. 24th. Yes. Is your microphone on? So we're talking about moving the policy committee to Tuesday the 10th at 6 o'clock.
Yes.
That's fine.
That's good for everybody.
Okay, great, perfect. All right, anything else?
I'll add a communications meeting on the 12th, which would be the week prior to the forum. And if we need it, we'll use it. If we don't, we won't.
Okay. Sounds good. We're gonna wait to, I assume we're gonna wait to see if the theater is available. But if the theater is available on the 18th, I'm hearing that is the first choice for the community forum. Okay.
Where did you read communications committee?
So we're going to move communications and facilities to Thursday, the 12th. Yes?
Yes, and I had to ask for one on the 5th too, so in case there's things to do and to plan and to get right, we have multiple meetings, the 5th and the 12th, leading up to the forum. If we don't need one, then great.
And Tom, is the facilities on the 12th good for you? Yeah, we think that it is. So. Yep. Okay, good.
Okay. That's all I have for superintendent's report.
Okay. We're right about the half-hour mark, so we will close the public hearing. Sure.
In the minutes from December.
Can you introduce yourself and where you're from, please?
Oh, okay, sure. Name's Paul Langell, and I live in Temple. In the minutes, it said if Francis, specifically, I think it said Francistown, if they had withdrawn, if they withdraw from the district, that it would 1.7 million would increase that would have to be borne by the other towns. That was just counterintuitive to me. I don't know why would it increase? Wouldn't it stay flat or decrease?
So a lot of the district costs are fixed costs that don't necessarily drop if Francistown were to leave. So what the costs that would lower are not as great as
Like
what Francistown pays. So that is the amount that gets distributed over the other 8 towns following the apportionment.
Okay, so irrespective of whether they create their own SAU or, so even if they did all that, it would still go up
That's our projection, yes.
because of, yeah, you're not going to get the decrease. Okay.
All right, thank you. Sure.
Sir? Sure. I just wanted to point out to the Withdrawal Study Committee published its final report, and that is available on the Conval website. If you go to the main page and scroll down to withdrawal reports, you can find it there. It is very thorough, and you can trace all the work we did and how we came to those numbers. Thanks.
Hey, Curtis and Mike,
Yes.
Curtis, can you comment on the financial articles regarding the budget that are coming out? That'd be good, kind of tell the public.
Sure. Jim will be publishing a series of financial articles, as he does every year, related or that preview the budget and go over financial updates, explain tax bills and assessments, as well as the district operating budget. And those are will be released slowly over the next couple of weeks. They'll be on the website as well.
Okay. You have anything to add, Jim?
No, that's good.
Going down to old business, we have the January 1st enrollment.
Did anyone have any questions about it?
This, I really appreciate the way you're doing the enrollment. It's much clearer to me. But the section that says change from the date, does that mean the numbers that change from the beginning of the month till the end of the month? Like when-
It's,
I'm sorry. You know, does that mean like we lost one student in elementary, we gained a student in the middle school, we gained 2 high schoolers? Just this month?
are you making,
Just this month.
so it looks like we're we're down 2 students at elementary.
That's, yeah, I didn't know the exact numbers.
Oh,
But, like,
okay.
but is that what that means?
Yes,
Like,
so it's-
during the
it's-
month, there, I guess I didn't know that attendance was that volatile, but okay.
Yeah, people move and,
Okay, thank you.
but yes, it's just from the last report that you received. So this is compared to the December 1st enrollment numbers.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Curtis.
Well, Janine mentioned that 2 students left in pre-K. I just wanted to point out, for those who don't have it in front of them, that the net increase was 1, was +1. So we did gain a student. Also, we had raised the question earlier in the year as to where the 70 to 80 students that we lost between the years had gone, and whether there was any causality to the removal of the EFA cap. So the question was, were EFAs taking our students out of public schools? And there's been a lot of data that's been released in the past few months that basically says that's not what's happening. The EFA uptake is largely by students who were already outside of the public school system, and that the decline in enrollment in public schools is largely due to natural causes, right? Decline in birth rates. So, just thought I'd share.
Okay, if there are no other questions as far as the January 1st enrollment, we'll go down to open enrollment. Just a couple of comments before we start the discussion. One is that hopefully everyone saw the answers that Dr. Forrest had put on the website as far as the fact that our consultation was that you cannot have a 0 and 0 as far as the limits are concerned. I know the last discussion we had, there was a lot of discussion about moral objections to open enrollment. And again, I can understand that as far as some of the changes that are being made both at the state and federal level. But you have to remember the fact that when we vote on things, we're voting on what is best for the school district and the best for the students, not necessarily what our own moral judgments say. So let's keep that in mind as we go forward and discuss the open enrollments. Okay. Any questions as far as for Dr. Forrest on the things that were on the answers?
No, so as I saw the answers, we can restrict it further than just saying German. We just can't say 0%.
The restrictions that we make, you make after the decision has been made as
Well,
far as,
It can be, but we're making a restriction when we say the German program. There is no prohibition against saying the German AP class in your warrant.
right. The only exception that you have to be careful of is the law says that any restrictions that you make for incoming students have to be the same things that are applied to all the students who are in your school district. In other words, as we go through, if we have open enrollment and we go through taking in applications, if we look at behavioral situations, they have to match the behavioral situations that we deal with our students.
Right.
Academically, the same thing.
So that would not be defining the program that is open, saying the program that is open is our AP German class, is an acceptable thing to put in the warrant. We would then have to be cautious about how we drafted the policy for admission into that program to make sure that we weren't excluding our own students from AP German in the process. So that's all.
Okay.
And I think that we get closer to creating a 0-0 situation without saying it's 0-0 and living up to what the majority of the board has said is their moral position previously.
With the exception that 3 people said they had moral objections to it, not the majority of the board. So. Dr. Forrest?
So you can do that. I'll just say what we brought forward is what administration is recommending. So then you as a board can decide, but it is not the administration's recommendation to restrict it to just AP.
Curtis?
I think since our last discussion, we've just continued to see more districts adopt the 0 outbound, which will effectively nullify it for the coming year. So, that in of itself should create a 0-0 understanding between districts in the interim. And yeah, that's it for now.
Janine?
What is the language in the RSAs? Does it have class as like an AP class, or does it have program? I remember program or grade level or grade or school, but I don't remember class.
It says program, and then it lists the different programs that are included, and one of them is language. So
Okay. So probably that's the way.
But the legal interpretation that came back from our legal counsel was that AP was an acceptable thing to put in there.
Okay, other comments? Greg?
So, would the administration, so I understand what you're saying, Curtis, the 0, to effectively make it 0, that's fine. I understand what you're saying, Dr. Forrest, that you're proposing this. We currently have a 2% maximum. Would the administration be willing to do a 2-student maximum, for example, so that we're taking minimum in, we're having 0 out, we have sort of what the administration wants from a program perspective, but we're not having a free-for-all of people coming here, and we're not having anyone be able to leave. Just a thought.
The new white page that was on your website did say that it would be better if we defined numbers of students rather than percentage. Curtis?
So we have the changes. There's 2 places where we can effectively control the scope of open enrollment, right? There's what goes on the warrant and what's approved by voters, and then there are later decisions as to we could tailor it down, not up, be a policy as we craft it, right? Setting a narrow scope in the warrant and having it pass, and we're stuck with 2 students coming in. And in a future year, if the zero outbound is challenged or re-legislated away and saying schools have to take a minimum of 1% or allow a minimum 1% out, and then we're stuck with 1% out, 2 students in, and we would have to then have a warrant passed to expand what our inflow could be.
If the legislature has voided your warrant, then it's gone anyway, and you're not stuck with it any longer.
Well, that's reassuring to hear.
And that's what's going to happen. We know that that's what's going to happen. This is going to be a short-term thing. And then the legislature is going to say, everybody said zero. That's not what we want to happen. And unless there's a change in politics in the legislature, then there's going to be a change.
So in that
But
instance,
in the interim, I have no objection with protecting ourselves. I'm all for adopting some sort of open enrollment language. What I am not for is being a hypocrite, saying zero can go out, but some can come in. What's good for me is not good for you.
Well, there are still 6 laws that allow people to leave the district. So it's not like if we say zero, everyone is going to be here and there's no opportunity for anyone to leave. There's still the hardship, there's still the benefit, there's
Right,
still the CTE.
Sure, we understand that, but we're trying to cut our losses, for lack of a better term. So we understand we can't change all these other things. We have just control of this one little teeny tiny piece. And to your point, I mean, Jim's right. I mean, we have to take it to the voters one time. If it doesn't somehow get nullified, then we can take it to the voters again, and we can switch it that way.
still relying on it to pass.
Janine?
I think, I don't see this as hypocritical, Jim, because we are offering a program to the public or the other public schools that they probably don't have in their own school. So it isn't, even though we're letting zero go out. So I don't see that as a problem. And I prefer to see it as a program instead of a number of students, because it's a plus for us. And I don't anticipate that a lot of people are going to take us up on that, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that comes with it. So I think program makes more sense, and I don't think that because German as a program doesn't really exist in any other high schools in the area.
So I don't know how it's not hypocritical. Right? There may be students that would want to go to another district and take advantage of an opportunity there that we don't have. Whether that's they're going to open up just in general and they happen to have a better athletic program in one area or another, and they want to go there, that's all things that could happen. It could be somebody wants to go to a district that quickly turns out people that are ready for the construction trades, and that's not what we're focused on, right? So to say that we're not going to allow someone here to leave, but saying it's okay if you come to us. I understand financially it works to our benefit, but you can't tell me it's not hypocritical.
Go ahead.
I just want to come from an administrative point of view. We took these 2 parts, we thought of them completely separately. So the administration really focused on, when Dean came, he presented which of our programs would benefit from additional students. And that's the perspective that we were coming from. And we picked the German program because it is a program that would benefit from additional students and would really continue to help that program thrive. It's a wonderful program. It'd be great to showcase. And the only reason we ended up then picking 0 was because we were hearing all of our neighboring districts pick it. So that piece is coming from a financial standpoint. So I think it's just the situation we have been put in.
In which I 100% appreciate it, and if I was to pick a program, you picked the right one. So, I mean, I'm not saying anything administration did was incorrect. You guys nailed it as far as the right program, the right things. Janine, you are correct. It is a fantastic program that other people would want to get into. That being said, to Jim's point, there are probably other programs at other schools that our students might want to go to. So again, you can't say it's okay to come here and not go there. I mean, that's just facts. However, we do have to Mike's point, our job is, our fiduciary duty is for what is right for the district. And although I think this is a bunch of BS, what is right for our district is to do what is proposed.
Dan?
Like it or not, I think we make moral compromises every day, and I hear what you're saying. And I don't think if somebody wants to leave here because there's a better band program or athletic program somewhere else, maybe we should improve our band program or athletic program to keep them here. I mean, in my business world, when our competitors came out with a better product, better service, it forced us to do a better job to keep our customers. Like it or not, folks, students are our customers today. And I read in that article that Mike passed around, one district is going to hire a marketing director. I think it was Pembroke. So like it or not, this is the kind of world we live in today. It's more competitive.
Okay. Would someone like to bring forth a motion, please? If that's what the motion you wish. Yep. Yes.
We did hear from legal that they think we should identify a number rather than a percent. And so the number, based on the percent we calculated, I think we put 2%, but the number would be up to 35.
So how does that jive with us saying we're going to take students in, but we don't want to send any out? It seems like we're breaking with them. With that doesn't seem like consistent with what they're doing.
They didn't do 0-0, Tom. They did 0 going out.
I see. I thought you said 0-0.
No, that's not legal. All right, Janine?
I move that we write the warrant article as the German program. We will accept students into the German program. Do you want to do 35 students? Is that the number you came up with? We will accept up to 35 students into the German program, and we will write the warrant article as we will allow 0% to leave the district.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second that, Kat, but then I have a question.
Yes.
So the 35% represents, no,
35
35 students.
students.
Sorry. 35 students represents a 2% of the total population, is that? And that was determined as a percentage or the number of students that the program could handle based on current enrollment at the high school.
Yes, and that's thinking, across 4 years. So not that we would take 35, again, everybody's setting 0 outgoing, so but if we got applicants, we're assuming they would come in as German 1, and there'd be, let's say, 5 students the first year, right? And then the second year, we have those 5 students, but we'd have students coming in as, freshmen, taking German 1, and then we'd be up to 10. And so it would build, across a 4-year period, it would build up to, I would think in year 4, we'd have a max of 35 students.
I see.
Because once a student is here, they are allowed to stay.
Right, and so I just want to make sure, because yes, the German program could handle that, but like, what about, like, you looked at kind of across the board, right? So like,
Yeah, a maximum
Math and-
capacity in
Okay.
the German program.
right, but they also then get to take math and social studies and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Okay,
Right.
So 35 students is a little troubling, right? But as a number. If you wanted to say 5 students per grade level,
I think
In
we
the
would
German
put
program.
that into our policy.
Yep. Okay,
Yeah. And
sorry, go ahead.
No.
All right, roll call vote.
Sarah, yes.
Kat, yes.
Tom, yes.
Dan, yes.
Greg, yes.
Curtis, yes.
Mike, yes.
Jim, no.
Carl, yes.
Janine, yes.
Bill, no.
Tom, yes.
Jim?
Jim, yes.
Okay, you have that, Brenda? Okay, thank you. All right, policy.
Okay, we have 3 policies up for adoption. The first one is JF, policy JF, enrollment and enrollment capacity. And this was the new policy that states the district's responsibilities to educate, defines full and part-time enrollment, directs the superintendent to prepare a report that estimates and describes the district's enrollment capacity according to a list of 10 categories. No later than June 3rd, the board will finalize and approve this report called the Annual School Program Class and Activities Enrollment Capacity. And attached to that is JF-R1, which is the template that outlines the above categories that will direct the superintendent's data collection.
Do you want to make a motion?
I move that we adopt policy JF, enrollment and enrollment capacity.
Have a second?
Bill, second.
Okay. Any questions, further questions? All right,
Sarah, yes.
Kat, yes.
Tom, yes.
Dan, yes.
Curtis, yes.
Mike, yes.
Jim, yes.
Carl, yes.
Janine, yes.
Bill, yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Jim?
Jim, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
Next one.
And the second policy is policy IHCD or policy LEB. They're the same policy. Advanced coursework, advanced placement courses in STEM dual and concurrent enrollment program. And this is a policy that we currently have, and there is just one small, well, it's not really small, but a legislative change of individuals. Students can take no more than 2 courses per student per year due to state funding. The state will not fund more than 2 courses. This doesn't mean they can't take more courses. They can, but they would have to, either the school would have to pay for it or the individuals would have to pay for it. And that's it.
motion?
I move that we adopt the changes to policy IHCD/LEB, advanced coursework, advanced placement courses in STEM, dual and concurrent enrollment program.
Kat,
Second.
second.
Okay, any further questions? Okay,
Sarah, yes.
Kat, yes.
Tom, yes.
Curtis, yes.
Mike, yes.
Jim, yes.
Carl, yes.
Janine, yes.
Bill, yes.
Tom, yes.
Jim, yes.
Okay, and the third policy is a change to policy JLCJA, the emergency plan for sports-related injuries and additional protocols for athletic participation. And this change was a few language changes and additions and one clarifying update. I move that we readopt policy JLCJA with the additions, emergency plan for sports-related injuries, and additional protocols for athletic participation.
Cat second.
Any further questions? Okay, Sarah?
Sarah, yes.
Cat, yes.
Tom, yes.
Dan, yes.
Curtis, yes?
Mike, yes?
Carl, yes?
Janine, yes.
Tom, yes.
Jim, yes.
Okay, thank you. Communications plan and timeline.
All right, so the communications plan was put in the board drive. This is very much a framework for the communications committee itself, but also a framework for the board's communication strategies and goals and targets. But it is also very much a living kind of working document. You get this stuff down on paper, and then you immediately find something you want to do or to make better. So it will be something that's going to be referenced and built upon. But in the draft that was presented to you, it defines the plan defines the committee's jurisdiction, the purposes and objectives behind communications. It outlines our key audiences, both internal and external, and in this area it could be of some use to you as individual board members by providing spreadsheets with contact information for everybody from your legislative representatives to the select board representatives, down to press and media outlets. So yeah, I think when we're done, this will live, a version of this will live in the school board drive, and you guys can access it. There'll be a folder with all of the supplemental spreadsheets that have this information. It'll be in there, so if you search in the main drive for communications plan, you can get to any of those things, and they are linked. We define core messages and lay out our various communications channels, and doing that kind of led us to go into hyper-focus mode on, the board streaming. How do we make that better and more efficient? And past that, we have a page on communication strategies that we've used and have explored. We've outlined roles and responsibilities regarding communications. We created a crisis communication protocol that is very short, to the point. And we've set up some standards for how we can better evaluate the feedback and interactions that we have. There's also a link to a working communications committee calendar, something that kind of tracks the fiscal year and gives us guides that we can easily reference and say, in 2 months we're going to be in this stage of the year. Here are some boxes we can check and ways we can prepare. So again, this is not something that is just for us as a board. It is hopefully there for the next board and the board after that, and it can be built upon. At this Thursday's meeting, we're going to be talking about 2 additions to this document, to the plan that I've introduced and we'll be talking about, but we're creating templates for board communications, such as letterhead, committee report templates, board statement templates. So every document that we produce looks the same, and it looks official, and it's not just on a blank sheet of word paper. That we'll also be talking about a new section for new school board member onboarding. So what information do we get the board members to get them up to speed as quick as possible? So let's get that all in one place. So I think there are many good uses, some that I think we've stumbled probably on 80% of them. And if you have any suggestions or feedback for it, please let me know.
Draft warrant. Neil, do you,
Do you have a copy of the warrant ready? It's in the drive. It includes the budget with the default number, as well as the trust funds that we've got. It also includes, the one thing that probably hasn't been discussed is creating a trust fund for open enrollment. And currently what's in there is $1, but that could be, you could change that. We wouldn't be able to put any additional money into that until the following year, if that's what is voted, but that would create that fund for payment of outgoing tuition.
okay. Curtis?
I have a question on the trust fund for open enrollment. Is it too late to broaden the scope of it to tuition? And is that something we should be considering? I know we do have regular fluctuation in general education tuition obligations. So to create it, fund it, and in any given year, is it better to have it with a broader purpose? Still being tuition, but rather than calling it a specific open enrollment tuition.
Oh, any tuition.
I think you're talking about the reserve account.
It's been proposed, the open enrollment trust fund to manage expenses related to open enrollment. Is it better just to call it tuition?
Janine?
So what kind of tuition are we talking about? Are we talking about special ed, like when we have to send a child, because of the IEP requirements out of district? I mean, what other tuition do we have?
Right,
That's
we have a
what- yeah,
trust fund
that's
for
what I'm
that.
thinking.
Yeah.
Well, there are general education tuition inflows and outflows.
Are there?
I saw that.
For the other 4 methods of people leaving the district.
We've had for best interest placements.
CTE. if they
CTE,
decide
I
to
think
go
that would be
someplace
under
else.
open enrollment.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
But-
that would
So
be-
not
yeah, go ahead.
not huge amounts.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Like, yeah, I guess is there other exposure we should be considering?
I think this is probably the biggest exposure we're looking at right now.
Okay. Do we have to vote on the specific warrant article?
Because
Not tonight.
I don't think we need to vote on the warrant article tonight.
It's after the deliberative session, right?
no.
No?
It is,
No.
it is,
Warrant articles have to be in by the 26th.
it is tonight, and it has to be each one because it has to say whether you recommend.
Okay, you want to go down through them individually?
We have till the 20th, don't we?
To recommend them.
Last day to post the warrants is Monday, January 26th, if I look at my crib sheet correctly.
So the advantage of waiting till the 20th to determine to do your recommend or not recommend is we can have legal review all the language to make
Okay.
sure. because we need to change in the open enrollment, the 2% to 35 and.
Okay.
Right.
All right, so that will be put off until the next meeting then. The default calculation, Neil has already gone through that.
You have a copy of that, so if there are any questions on that.
Any questions anyone has? Yes.
So our next meeting's on the 20th. So if we vote on the warrant that night, is that considered submission?
Yes. Okay, if there are no questions, let's go down to the gifts and donations. Can I have a motion to accept the first gift and donation?
I move that we accept with gratitude the gift from the Union Congregational Church to South Meadow School for the support of families in need in the Conval School District.
Second? Okay,
Sarah, yes.
Kat, yes.
Tom, yes.
Dan, yes.
Curtis, yes.
Mike, yes?
Jim, yes.
Carl, yes.
Janine, yes.
Tom, yes.
Tim, yes.
Okay, the next one.
I move that we accept with gratitude the donation to Peterborough Elementary School from Lamey's Black Belt Academy to benefit the students and staff at PES for the amount of $943.
Okay, we have a second? Okay, Sarah?
Sarah, yes.
Kat, yes.
Tom, yes.
Dan, yes.
Curtis, yes.
Mike, yes?
Jim, yes.
Carl, yes.
Janine, yes.
Tom, yes.
Jim, yes.
Okay, field trip request. Can I have a motion on that?
I make a motion that we approve the travel to the Winter Games for the Special Olympics from March 2nd to March 4th.
Okay,
Second.
all right, Sarah?
Yes.
Kat, yes.
Tom, yes.
Dan, yes.
Curtis, yes, and have fun.
Mike, yes?
Jim, yes.
Carl, yes.
Janine, yes.
Tom, yes.
Tim, yes.
Because of the impending weather, we're going to take our non-public session and push it off to the next meeting. So can I have a motion to adjourn? Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope everyone has a safe travel home.
Bye, Brenda. Thank you.
Good night, Tom. Thank you.